Rage, my soldiers, time to take out the War Chief Beast Titan. So what's up guys, Foxen here. Oh, the scout situation keeps on getting worse and worse after every new passing Attack on Titan episode. Will there be anyone else left soon? So be sure to give a colossal thumbs up and subscribe. Also, don't forget to set up bell notifications so YouTube actually works. Anyway, let's get started. Today's Attack on Titan episode titled The Perfect Game. First off, getting back to the CG Colossal Titan nuke going off the previous episode. You had the whole Colossal Titan setting everything on fricking fire. Come on, this district is completely ruined. Just rebuild somewhere else. Even Coney freaking lost it with that insane laugh of his. I mean, why the hell did Coney focus on Eren, by the way? It is interesting to notice just how similar Coney is to Eren, where he just starts laughing when something tragic happens before his eyes. For Eren, that was back in Attack on Titan Season 2, the finale. We had poor Uncle Hannes becoming a Titan snack with Mr. Jaeger up in front. Anyway, back to Mr. CG Colossal Titan. For this episode, I guess I gotten used to it, or maybe it got a little better this episode. I don't know, was it just me, or did they actually improve it? And post your thoughts down below. For Armin here, my god, was this little dude in shock at just the sight of that destruction here. Can you really blame him though? Although to give Armin some massive credit, at the very least he was able to figure out just how ineffective he was and pass the command over to Mr. Stallion Jr. Time to take the reins, Mr. Horse. Then for Jean. Funny how these two guys were pretty much passing the potato responsibility. It was almost as if he knew he had to take over for Armin just to give him a chance to recover. However, Armin was still ultimately needed for them to be effective. Also interesting to notice just how the entire group was quickly to follow the change in leadership without any questions, especially Titan Eren. Switching it up to the Beast Titan side of this game board. Luckily, that CG rock ended up missing humanity's strongest Ackerman. All of this incoming stones really gave me the feeling of something like meteors shooting down into this town. Might have been just as destructive. So on one side of the wall, you have the Colossal Titan nuking and scorching the whole area. Meanwhile, the Beast Titan on the other side is leveling everything. Come on, every single one of those Survey Corps guys has just been liquefied. All the Beast Titan is really just missing bananas for this berry smoothie he's making. And oh yes, manga readers definitely noticed the red censorship. Either way, now you know why this episode is called The Perfect Game, a reference to the Beast Titan. Yes, the Beast Titan seems to be a very hardcore baseball fan. He even explicitly said perfect game. Levi and the Survey Corps are gonna have some massive baseball PTSD. Oh, and I just had to point out this shot of the twisted up dying Dirk. The Wit Studio definitely made this short scene appear so horrifying. You could taste this guy's fear and incoming death. Poor scouts. It almost reminds me of the Beast Titan taking out humanity's second strongest, back in Season 2. Anyway, back to the Survey Corps, they got super wrecked. Notice how this whole area just got turned into this red, misty gravesite. Look at that red, smoking mixture, so daunting. I mean, is anyone alive? How about the horse meat? Never mind wasting the mindless Titan army. The Beast Titan really is a one monkey army. Even Mario would have been like, oh hell no. As for the mortified Erwin overlooking the area, he just got that shot of Erwin on the mountain of bodies this past episode. Just like that in a snap, the mountain just doubled in size. Or it would have if there was anything left. It's more like a mountain plus this red river this episode. Talking about the horses. Thankfully, Flock and the CG horses made it out of this encounter. Notice here how the few surviving scouts have no idea what just happened. You had a dozen scouts literally die in an instant, yet you're left so ignorant of how that all happened. By the way, a very nice shot of the bell, plus the incoming echo as it just comes crashing down. Very nice little touch to the already daunting scene. As for Levi coming in, you got him encouraging Flock over here who was just pissing on himself. I do have to point this out since I had no idea this was Flock in the manga. Now for the anime, you could actually identify this redhead. Overall for the scene, the little touch of the faint red mixture with the smoke really added to this great horror situation. Definitely elevating the manga version of the scout liquefaction. Pretty briefly here, they added the shot of the Colossal Titan bending over. I know, I gotta be honest, but the Colossal Titan in some scenes just made me laugh at how funny he looked. Come on, I can't be the only one. So back to Erwin, you have him figuring out the whole situation. This actually addresses one of the points I brought up earlier, which was why the Beast Titan didn't just start off with this baseball mode from the very start. Turns out the clever War Chief Zeke was simply baiting the scouts out into the open using the smaller Titans. If those Titans died, no problem. There's always a chance the neck area would have survived intact, which really just means Titan regeneration time to finish off any surviving scout chunks. So yes, this round does go to the warrior team. As far as Erwin knew at this point, they were freaking screwed. Potentially Eren and the other guys were gone, which really only meant Erwin, Levi, and a couple of newbie scouts were remaining. Talk about being able to keep that poker face in this dire situation. Anyway, switching it back to Team Jaeger. Titan Eren used Roar. Unfortunately, it failed. Right here, Eren should have been like the Beast Titan and tried to throw some of his Titan crystal at the Colossal Titan coconut. That might have gotten his attention. And oh my god, they actually used some non-CG stuff for this close-up shot. Looks like the Wit Studio throwing the fans some scraps before they take off. Oh wait, that's just a rumor. So for a brief moment he had Eren's Titan running with the guys. He even saw Mikasa take Koni's Thunder Spear. Did anyone else notice, when did Armin end up using the Thunder Spears he had equipped? Armin should have had a couple of spare ones for Mikasa. Next up, Titan Eren versus the Colossal Titan foot. Notice here again switching it up to regular animation for the Colossal Titan. And actually, now that I'm able to see how it looks here, I kinda wish they just kept it all CG instead, except for facial shots. Oh, and silly Eren. Funny how he actually thought he was pushing this Colossal Meat Man back. Go Colossal Titan, use Super Kick. It was super effective. Titan Eren got sent blasting off and fainted. Complete scout wipeout. God damn it, these forests are just wiping the floor with humanity. Meanwhile, for Levi and Erwin down below, hey, on the bright side, at least now they have a visual confirmation that Eren and some of the scouts are alive. Next up, Team Stallion versus the Colossal Titan. Man, did these guys catch some good airtime. They just floated up there for a good like 10 seconds. Unfortunately, these guys did make their half-assed plan way too obvious. And I know, it is in hindsight, but these guys should have known about the Colossal Titan's steam. Right here, it does seem like a majority of it does concentrate on the upper area to protect the neck. So how about aiming the Thunder Spears at one of the Colossal Titan legs or foot area, just to bring the giant crashing down. This thing shouldn't be able to regenerate, at least not quickly. As for Mikasa's reaction here, I actually did like the scene displaying this Codestone warrior looking hurt and sounding pretty desperate. Also, a pretty similar situation with Armin here. You got a pretty real moment with him not being able to come up with any great ideas for this sticky situation. Oh, but don't forget the lovely surprise. The Plot Armor Titan has fully respawned. Welcome back, the hardest warrior, Reiner. Come on, these guys are super screwed. So switching it up to the Beast Titan achieving his perfect game, still leveling that battlefield, or whatever is left of it. For Levi here, I actually completely forgot this even happened. So get this. Even at the most terrible situation, Levi is still suggesting for Erwin to ditch this whole place on the Titan Uber and get the hell out of here. At least that way the Surikor could survive to fight again. Keep in mind, Levi did not include himself in that escape plan. Then, for the Ginger Flock outright telling it how it was, which Isayama has admitted to why Flock was included in this arc, I doubt anyone could really blame the newbie at this point. Flock here actually shows an interesting parallel to Marlo and Eren. You got this guy originally joining the Surikor in hopes of achieving or becoming something great. Unlike the very special Eren, this redhead doesn't have any special Titan abilities to fall back on. By the way, I do appreciate the Wit Studio at least getting this shot-in of the scout remains in the anime, if anything better than the manga version. Anyway, switching it up from humanity's weakest to humanity's strongest. Even at this moment, you still have Levi prioritizing specifically Erwin and Eren. If nobody else, these two have to survive this major defeat. Alright, so getting into Erwin's grand plan. Finally, you have this guy coming up with some extreme ideas. Getting into some of that outside the Titan cage thinking, similar to Armin. A plan that would only work with the Surikor commander leading all the interns into their death, which was literally throwing them into the Beast Titan blender. The falling has to be one of the most heart-wrenching moments for Attack on Titan, which was Erwin's sad realization here. He got so damn close to unlocking the doors to this burning curiosity, something he dedicated his entire life for. Then at this moment he realizes that he's never going to be able to cross the finish line. The dreaded cherry on top of this bloody sundae was Levi also realizing this and sounding sad for the commander, his trusted buddy. To be honest, I do wish they held this shot for a little bit longer, but still pretty powerful. You got all the fallen scouts, including some standout ones like Mike, Nifa. You can see the Levi squad in the shot when they cut over to Levi. Petra really standing out too. Oh, and I just noticed, they even added Levi's buddies from the No Regret series. Freaking crazy. Throughout this whole thing, you have sorrow, piano music in the background. That is a little bit too easy, but it definitely fits the occasion. Finally, all this ultimately leading up to Levi's decision. Erwin, die. Charge into death so I could slice up the Beast Titan. And just notice all throughout this, just hearing and seeing Levi in pain as he gives Erwin this final order. Interesting how the tables have flipped. Then, right back to this death command, Erwin simply smiles. Humanity's strongest has spoken and decided your fate. All of these accounts just look so scared out of their ass. It turns out Erwin's grand plan was more than a simple final Survey Corps parade. He got all of these guys trying to blind the Beast Titan via their smoke, trying to create this massive smoke screen for the strongest warrior. Strongest scout. Meanwhile, Levi could just score some super ultra combos by the time that he's reached the Beast Titan location. But don't forget about Erwin's final motivation speech. Looking back at this, in some ways it does feel a little bit ironic. At first, he's pretty honest about them all dying in a similar manner, no matter whether they had a good life or tough life up until this point. But then he flips it by bringing up the past fallen scouts, proclaiming that they, the living ones, give the fallen ones the sacrifices some meaning. In this case, they're all giving themselves up for the one Ackerman to live on and accomplish his task. That's gonna be a heavy burden for Levi. Finally, rage, scream, and fight, my soldiers. Oh, that ultimate cliffhanger. I swear, Attack on Titan is gonna kill someone via these cliffhangers. And then for the Beast Titan, not only is this guy wiping out humanity, but also trimming down the horse population. Poor Jean. And goddamn, after this episode, I feel so bad for Erwin. Next up, getting into the manga to anime changes, some highlights. Honestly, nothing really major at this point. The one thing I do have to of course mention is the censorship, which is really for the crushed, liquefied soldiers. The anime really just covered this was a bunch of red. I think they did something similar for Attack on Titan Season 2, technically. To be fair, you did get a glimpse of this for like half a second, although still blurred by the blinding white light. By the way, something worth noting this episode was also the Armin voice actor Titan. This got left in for the anime. If you recall, Isayama does like to make mindless Titan cameos. Oh, and yes, there's gonna be a couple more of these. For the total chapters covered this anime episode, technically less than 2 chapters. They cover what was left of chapter 79 and chapter 80. This does mean 10 chapters left for 6 episodes. I do wonder if they're gonna add anything extra to flesh out the upcoming stuff. I'm talking about Mr. M. By the way, really quickly, I do have to mention the Attack on Titan change of studio rumor. I did make a full video going in depth on that earlier on, go ahead and check that out. Right now, I am hearing that this is blowing up even more in China, so this guy who's responsible for the rumor or unexpected leak might be royally screwed. Check my video out on that. So, was this the best season 3 episode yet or what? Was Erwin's suicide charge the best option? Will Levi be able to slay the Beast Titan? Find out next time on Titan Ball Z. But really, check out the anime studio change video, The Rumor. Be sure to leave a colossal thumbs up, set up bell notifications, and I'll see you guys later.